Hey everyone, it's Emily here, and I am going to do my Q&A video. I'm in my car. I'm like in the back of a parking lot, so hopefully people don't look at me and judge me as I film in my car. I just had a really busy day and a really busy last couple of days, like this past week, and so I haven't had time to do my Q&A video, but I'm going to do it now. But first, I'm going to show you these absolute steals I got from Half Price Books. I got Interview with the Vampire, Moon Called, the first book of the Marcy Thompson series, and this edition of A Tale of Two Cities. That's from 1910. I got all these for $1. Like, each book was $1. This book was $1. I feel like I robbed the store. Like, I'm so excited. Okay, anyway, on to your questions. So the first question is from Ramblings of a Book Sniffer, and she asked me how I broke my knee, and basically I just slipped and fell, and my knee hit the floor, and it cracked. Like, that was it. It's a pretty boring story. I'm sorry. Mia Sutton asked if I have a hidden talent. I don't think so. I found those books for $1. Is that a hidden talent? Maybe? I don't know. I should have thought about that question more. Latin Lecter asked, what do I do for a living? I work at the front desk at a hotel. So, yeah, I check people in, check them out, help them with anything else that they need. I'm kind of like the main go-to person for anyone at the hotel. Kristie Baraldi asked, what is the most important book I've read? That's a really good question. I think that's probably the hardest question someone's asked for this. The most important book. I mean, in a way, Harry Potter was really important. Because it basically is the reason why my generation knows how to read. Man, that's a really hard question. The Bible, which is kind of a cliche, but even outside of like the religious perspective of reading the Bible, and I have read the entire Bible just twice, like, you also can't deny the impact it's had on society and culture and the world. So even if your religious beliefs aren't Christian, you still know that the Bible has made a really big impact. So I guess it's the best answer I have so far, but it feels so cliche, so I need to think about that question more. It's a great question, though. Lindsay asked if I ever want to live somewhere other than Chicago. I've thought about living a couple of different places. I would love to live in New York just for like a year or two. I don't know if I want to do it forever, but I'd love to just say I lived in New York for a year or two. I just went to Cincinnati this past weekend, and I was really pleasantly surprised by that city. And I know my friend who lives there keeps on telling me I should live there. And I would consider it if the right opportunity came along. I would at least consider living in Cincinnati. That was a really cool city. I was pleasantly surprised. Pucks and Paperbacks asked, what did I major in college? My major was Director of Christian Education, and I had a minor in theology, and then I had concentrations in youth ministry and theater ministry, which sounds like a lot, and it kind of was, because I was a crazy person. All right, this one's a long one. But Trina from Between Chapters asked, have you ever read a book with a character who has OI, or have any books you've read represented well in your opinion? So that's a good question. So I have not read any books with a character with OI. And I know there is one, I think by Finch, I think is her last name. I've heard, but I've been really scared to read it. Because just like anything with people with disabilities really scares me to read, especially if it has OI. And I know the movie Unbreakable is kind of the same thing. I think he has OI or something similar to OI. And it was a decent movie. Like, it was fine. It was an action movie. So, I don't know. It was a good action movie, I guess. And as for just like representation in general for disabilities, the one that I've liked the most is The Fault in Our Stars. I know that was one of the only books I've really been like, yes, I can really relate to it. I felt like he was just so on point with like the way her relationship was with her parents and what it's like to be in and out of the hospital as a teenager all the time. And I love that because I felt like I could really relate to it. And I wished that book existed when I was a teenager. I think I really would have liked it. And honestly, I haven't read many books with people with disabilities just because the ones that I have read haven't been that great, or they haven't been bad, but they haven't been awesome either. Because I remember when I was in high school, I went through a phase where I was reading all these books about kids with cancer and diabetes and all that stuff. And They were fine, but if I really thought about them critically, they probably weren't that great. So, yeah, I really haven't read any. Allison Tuggle asked, if I had to eat one food item every day for the rest of my life, what would it be? I'm still allowed to eat other stuff because she's not cruel. Honestly, it would probably be either chocolate or nachos. Like, any form of nachos. It could be like nachos with salsa or guacamole or queso or whatever. I love the crap out of nachos. Sarah from Sarah Ann Reads asked me if I could be any Disney princess, who would I be? I think I'd be Elsa, although technically she's a queen. But for a little while she's a princess. Elsa. Elsa's just awesome because then I could just belt Let It Go whenever I wanted. And it's such a great song. MyVloggyBloggy Life asked, what is the best thing about being short? I can fit and hide places very easily, or I can like come into a room and people won't notice, and that can be really, really awesome and super handy sometimes. Tamara Woods asked 2 questions. She asked, why did you start doing YouTube booktube? I first started doing YouTube, I'm pretty sure, with VEDA a couple of years ago, and that was really what got me started into doing YouTube because a bunch of my friends were doing VEDA and I wanted to join in. And then after that, I just saw people like doing booktube, and that just made me kind of want to do it because I read all the time, so I thought it would just be a good fit. And then she asked, what kind of physical activities are good for your bones and less dangerous for you to do? An example, do you swim? I probably should swim, but I don't. I'm a terrible swimmer. I found actually yoga is good. I was really nervous about doing yoga, but then someone I knew who had osteoporosis said that it was actually really good for your bones because it's all weight bearing, and that's what makes your bones stronger. So that's the kind of exercising that I really try to do is yoga. I'm sure there's other ones, and also depending on your type of OI, it changes what kind of physical activities you can do. Like, I know one woman, like, she does Pilates all the time. But that'd probably be a little bit too much for me. I would really have to alter it a lot. But yoga is the exercise that I try to do. And then Mitch asked, what's the biggest benefit you see about your height in everyday life? What can you do every day? And may take for granted that I wouldn't be able to accomplish without accommodation? Well, it's kind of the same thing with, like, I like being able to go into a room and like sneak out of a room without people really noticing. That can be super handy sometimes. Or like I can reach things that are down low. Like I can get down and like, grab up something under the couch. Or sometimes there's like a rope blocking things off, or like a bar and people have to like walk around it. I can just walk under it, which is cool. And also at amusement parks, if I bring my wheelchair, I go through the fast pass like all the time just because of the wheelchair. So that's pretty sweet. And then finally, Brittany Pines asked, what is your favorite thing about being part of the bibliophile/reading community? I think it's just the fact that people get it. Like, I've been so immersed in the reading community and having friends who are, like, really nerdy and like reading like I do, that I forget that this isn't, like, a thing that most people do. And so I've learned, like, as I'm going to work, like, I bring a book with me to go on break all the time. And it just blows people's mind that I love to read and that I read all the time. Like, this is not a normal thing, and it's kind of hard to connect because they don't understand why I want to read on my break instead of just checking Facebook on my phone while I'm eating my lunch. And it's just like really weird. And so that's what I love about the reading community, is that like everyone just kind of gets it. Even if you read different genres and different types of books, everyone understands that, like, oh, you would rather stay in and read today. I get it. That's totally cool. And it's just nice to have that connection. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your questions. And I'm sorry this video is later than I anticipated. Life is crazy. And now I'm going to go eat Chipotle before I have to go to work. So yeah, I love your faces and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.